Hi again, here we are to continue talking about WordPress, and I'd like to continue with this Nob Hill Gazette project. And what I want to do is I want to create a drop-down menu here for the department link, right? So this is a nested list here, and so what I want to do is essentially hide it with my style sheet and then show it when we hover over the department link, right? So to do that, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the classic method here called the Son of SuckerFish drop-down menu. Okay, and you can go find that. Just Google up Son of SuckerFish, and you can read all about it here. They have a whole discussion on the subject. And essentially, it all works through CSS and by hiding the nested lists and displaying them on hover, right? They include a little bit of JavaScript here, but I think that you don't even need this. If I understand this correctly, this is just to make this work better on some browsers, older browsers. But I think we can even leave that out, and it should work fine for us with just CSS. So I'm going to follow this example here, and you can go study more about it. So I'll just go over it quick when I do my example, but you can read about it here if you want more information. So anyway, so here's my page. And I'll open up my style sheet here in brackets. And what I want to do is create a little area here at the bottom of my style sheet. And I'll add a comment, right here. I'll call it main menu. Yeah, I'll just call it menu, right? And what we need is we need an ID for the UL. And if you look at the notes here, this is what they've created. They started with a UL called nav, and then it has an LI with an anchor tag. And this is exactly what WordPress created for us. So for example, if I inspect this link right here, you'll see that it shows as a, let me see if I can make this a little bit larger there, right? So what's going to happen here is you'll see that my whole menu shows up as a UL with the ID menu, Nob Hill menu. And yours might say something else here, and that's perfectly okay, right? So we just need this name, this ID name. And I'm in Chrome, and I'm using the inspector, and the inspector, if you double click, you can edit these. So I can actually just copy the name right out of here. So I'll just copy that name. Now, this name is generated by WordPress based on the name of the menu that you created in the admin panel. So this might be different for everybody. And note that it's an ID, okay? You could also target this through this div name or the class name here, or using another ID or class name on this div up here. I'm going to use the ID name here because it'll be easiest for me. Make sure that you, figure out whatever this ID name is on your site. It may be something different. Okay, so if you're going to follow along with me, you're going to have to make sure that you get the correct name. Okay. So I'll copy the name here, but you'll see this has the same structure. So there's a UL, and then there's an LI item here, and if we open that up, it's got an anchor inside, and then there's a nested UL. And this is exactly the way that the SuckerFish menu is arranged. It's got a UL with an LI and an anchor, and then inside the LI here, there's a nested list item with another LI and anchor, right? So we're just going to create this same thing. Or actually, it's already created, right? Okay, so that's where we're going to start. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my style sheet here, and then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the hash mark there and paste my ID. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to target this element. That's the UL, right? And then what we want to do is we want to target all of the nested ULs. Okay, so this is saying, the element with this ID name gets these styles here, comma, this is a group selector, this element, and then the space means descendants, right? So any ULs inside this element also get this same style. So it's a group selector. We're going to apply this style to this element and all the ULs inside this element, right? Okay, and so what we want to do is we want to get rid of the padding, set padding to 0, set the margin to 0. If you have a reset style sheet, it might have done this, but we'll do this here for sure just to make sure that it goes away. And then we'll say list style is none. Okay, and that will get rid of the bullet points. Okay, so our next bit is we're going to target our UL again, and then I'll put the space and the A. So this means all of the anchor tags within this UL. So all these anchor tags, they're going to get this style, and they're going to be display block. And then they're going to have a width, and you can really put any width in here. The SuckerFish guys use the 10 Ms, which is probably good. You know, if you find this is too small, you could add a little bit more, or you know, maybe it's too wide. You want to take a couple M's off, right? Okay, so now we're going to use the selector again, and we want to target all the list items. Okay, and we're going to say all the list items are going to be float left. And we'll give them a width also. So they'll have a width of, you know, we'll use the 10M number again. Okay. So if this is what we have here, I'll save. And when I refresh the site, you'll see that this is what my site looks like. And so this is the width of 10 M's, right? That's why we got a little bit of extra space there. And you know, that's why you might want to change the number to something narrower. You can see if I make it too narrow, then dwelling and decor is actually going to wrap onto the next line, or maybe social calendar might wrap. Actually, that's got a lot of space. But anyway, you can see that's the width there. Okay, so now this menu here, this is the nested UL. And it's not hidden, right? So what we need to do is we need to hide that next, and then we'll make it show up on a hover, okay? And that'll be the effect of the menu. Okay, so what next? So let's go back to our style sheet, and what we want to do is we want to target this thing again. I got to make sure I put the hash mark in front there, right? And we want to target the LIUL. So this is the nested list right here, okay? So we're going to target that nested list, and we want to give it a position absolute and a width of 10M. And then what we're doing now is we're going to hide it. So I'm going to set the left to negative 99 M's. Okay, so that moves it, you know, 99 widths of the letter M to the left of the page, which essentially puts it off the screen out of view where we can't see it. Okay, you could hide it other ways, but that's a pretty good way. It's kind of out of the way that way. Okay, and then we're going to add one more here. We're going to say you know, our selector, whatever it is, li:hover ul. Okay, so here, when you hover over the list item at the top level, so the top level, so this is like, you know, menu item UL descendant li hover. So when we're hovering over, let's say, these list items here at the top, then their, you know, descendant UL is going to get this style here, and the style here is going to be left of auto. And what this is going to do is it's going to remove the left of negative 99 M's or 999 M's and then put this back in place, right? Because remember, we moved it off. So when we get this style, it'll appear right here now. Okay, so we'll save that. And then we'll refresh here. And then now, so now you can see the nested list is gone. And when I hover over the top level item, then the menu shows up. Okay. So, you know, this obviously needs a lot more styling, but we'll add some more styles to it later. But now we've got the function of the menu. And if you add another sub list under any one of these, then these could also have a drop down. Okay. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope that gets started on the menu there, and we'll continue with the rest of the page in the next video.